From the Ghost Tactical Production Studio, welcome to Tactical Tuesday, streaming live on YouTube and simulcasting as always on GunChannels.com. To check out our entire lineup of videos, podcasts, and live shows, please visit our website, www.ghosttacticalproductions.com. What is going on, my Ghost Squad? Welcome to Tactical Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, November 13th, 2018. We are live, as always, over on YouTube and simulcasting, as always, over on GunChannels.com. If you're not familiar with GunChannels.com at this point, can't help you. Can't help you at all. Crawl out from under the rock in which you live. Come over there and join us. It's a great community of pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment activists and advocates. It's a 24-hour lobby chat going all the time. If you have any questions on different things, anywhere from revolvers to black powder to ARs to builds to whatever you can think of, there's always someone who's knowledgeable and is over there that could definitely help you out. Most of your content creators that you watch throughout the week, we're all over on Gun Channels, so come check us out. We're coming up on the 5th year anniversary, and G will talk about that actually date. I'm not really sure, but I know it's coming up here pretty soon. It's in November. It's been 5 years for GunChannels.com, so congrats to G and everyone who started that up, and thank you so much for all that you guys do for the community. And I hope to say we, because I think that we're all part of the Gun Channels crew and the Gun Channels family. So it is a wonderful cold evening here in Arkansas. It's cold, and it's early to be this cold for me. I don't mind the cold at all, but man, there's just sometimes when it's like dark and gray and misting rain and like 28 degrees, and it's just like, ugh, I hate it. So it is what it is. Speaking of the Gun Channel side, let's go over there real quick and see who's hanging out. You've got G's over there, Gizzard Gary in the pants. Over on the YouTube side, if you guys are in the chat, please say something. We can't see you unless you say something. Welcome. If you're new, very much welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. Throughout the show, guys, if you want to send us an email, a question, please send it to live@ghosttactical.us. And we've got the new phone number that you can text your questions in if you like texting more. That phone number for that is 530-36-GHOST. 530-36-GHOST, or if you like the numbers, 530-364-4678. Go ahead and text those questions. We'll get them in. If you want to just ask them into the chat, make sure you tag one of us that are in the panel, and we'll get it going. Let's do a quick roll call real quick. We've got Stealth Hunters out there, and what's up, Stealth? And Grim90, the Tactical Reapers out there. Buck Stanley's out there. What's going on? Buck Calaveras, a Tactical Pickle. He said, what's going on? Howdy, y'all, says Guitar Man Pete. What up, Pete? Rich White, the 1% is out there. The 1% has graced us with his presence. There's a two-time defending Drill of the Month champion. Ozzy's out there, the metal god himself. Start calling you Paranoid. I'm not going to call you Howl at the Moon or anything like that. Crazy Trey. I'm going to call you Paranoid. Let's see here. Who else is out there? Who else? Midnight Range TM. He says he's available. I might send you and Stealth a link. Stealth had asked one. What's up, Hans? Hans is my buddy from here at hometown, and we go out there and shoot quite a bit. We got a fun shoot this Sunday at the range. JJ, what's up, JJ? What's going on? Let's see here. Jen Davis. Hello, Jen. Gizzard Gary is out there. Let me catch up here. Let me catch up. Sorry about this. MW Tactical says, what up, good people? And Night Strike says he's late. Whatever, dude. Gun Snob's out there. What's up, Snob? I'm always about a minute or two late. No one likes to be on time. Let's see here. Philo's out there. Hello, Philo. Travis T, what's up? Kingpin is checking in, he says. Let's see here. Rob D, hello, hello. Gunpowder Beauty. What's up, Jess? You guys been busy. So let's see here. Little Rock, Woo Pig. Little Rock's out there. If you're not from Arkansas, you might not understand what the Woo Pig is, but it is what it is. Alaskan Ballistics is out there. What's up? G-Webs is out there. Mateo, what's up? Super Fidelis, Mateo. Off the X, what's up, Lance? How you doing, man? He's driving to work, but listening, he said. RL's out there. Jeff Tax says, what's up? Big Racer. Good Lord, we got a crowd out there, and everyone's hopping. I love it. Mad Sexy's out there. Let's see here. I think I said Racer. If not, Georgia Trucker's out there. And Jim Burgess is out there. Good Lord. Anybody? Jesse B's out there. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. All right. So I think I got caught up. If I missed one, I apologize. Like I said, guys, if you want to email any questions, live@ghosttactical.us, or you can text the questions to 530-36-GHOST or 530-364-4678. Let's take a quick round about the room and welcome a couple of our panel guests. We've got from South Carolina, Mike from M-W Tactical. What's up, brother?
Not too much. How's it going for you?
It's a great day, man. It's a great day. It's a beautiful day, and then I got 2 thumbs down. I love getting 2 thumbs down. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Well, we'll equate those 2 thumbs down to the DQ I got this weekend at a USPSA match I was shooting.
Well, we're gonna jump into that a little bit. We are gonna bring that up for sure. You know, the people that give the thumbs down, they think it's hurting me. It's engagement, and I appreciate it. It's what it is. I don't care. Thanks for sticking on long enough to thumb it down. So, what's up, JB? JB's out there, and from Arizona, the Godfather himself, G Webs. What's up, G?
Hey, not much. Thanks for the invite.
So I know the 5-year anniversary of GunChannels is coming up. Do you know the actual? I'm sure you do, but what's the actual date of that? Because we can maybe start promoting some 5-year anniversary stuff.
Is it today?
Is it today? Seriously?
Could be. I'm looking at the calendar right now.
November 13th. That would be awesome.
Yeah, on my shows, whenever there's thumbs, I guess it's the 15th. 15th. Sorry.
All right, so Thursday is a 5-year anniversary of GunChannels. We got to start doing some videos out there and getting some content celebrating the 5 years of GunChannels. So, you want to talk about GunChannels a little bit and kind of where it's evolved from since the early days?
Sure. I was just gonna say when we get the thumbs downs on the daily gun shows, those shows always get more views. So I think when people are browsing and they see the engagement both ways, they wonder what's going on in that show that's got some controversy. So
right.
It drives engagement, like you're saying. So yeah, I've been thinking of asking people to just thumb it down, so we have like a nice ratio.
Yeah, let's try to get a little more thumbs up than thumbs down. But like you said, they've got to engage to get that thumbs down. So it's what it is.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, GunChannels was because of the YouTube platform and the lack of ability to really interact with it, or they were stripping layers that they had previously had for ways to engage over there. Being able to, what would they call it? Make video responses. You could tag videos. So somebody could respond to your videos. Do you guys remember that? You could respond to a video, and then a person who you responded to could say, I guess, acknowledge it, and then it would literally be attached. So, you could have a string of videos all literally attached together, more than a playlist and more than a recommended video. They were literally attached there. And for whatever reasons, they got rid of that. Imagine that, the complexity there was probably getting pretty big compared to the return on it. But for whatever reasons, they were also competing with Facebook, so they were trying to get everybody over to Google+, and it was uncomfortable and unnecessary. People didn't like it. There was tools that people didn't want, and it was weird. It was difficult navigation, and there's problems when you have an anonymous platform. There was, this was well past the forum days, but if you remember the forum days, you couldn't get into a forum anonymously. There would be some level of, some kind of scrutiny or some kind of, way to pass some kind of threshold to be able to get into most of the forums, so that it would stop the just anonymous troll stuff. And that it isn't a thing on YouTube. Anybody can make any number of accounts, right? So, we built something so that we could foster community and encourage the collaboration and the innovation of the video platform, which was sort of you know, kind of hand in hand with the apathy for the Second Amendment movement was kind of, you know, kind of happened at the same time. So we built GunChannels as a place to be, you know, have a presence on the internet for all those people that didn't want to tackle their own website and their own projects, their own branding and all that effort, you know, because YouTube allowed basically people to do that, right? YouTube, the social media platform part of YouTube, allowed people to, you know, put up some branding and to create a presence with the project or a common area of interest or whatever it might be, you know, just a group of people or an individual, and, you know, establish a place on the internet. But, you know, the people that helped build GunChannels, we knew that that's not healthy for individuals. It's not healthy for the community. It's healthy for YouTube because it keeps you on YouTube and keeps you beholden to their policies and what they want you to do, right? Because you've got all your eggs in that basket. So we saw GunChannels as a way to help people get off of that, you know, wean themselves off of that single basket, get their eggs in more baskets out there on the internet.
All right. That guy's wife is out there. I want to send a quick shout out to her real quick. She got her notification from SHOT Show today that she is going to be going under that guy's wife, under the Gun Gals flag. She has been accepted and is credentialed now to SHOT Show. So welcome to the dark side, kid. Looking forward to see you at SHOT Show. She also says someone go to tweet congrats Lizzie Dover from GunChannels and use the hashtag SH. I don't know what the SHSURING. It displaying those tweets on the Jumbotron here. Right on, right on. So go do that hashtag. Andrew Faulkner's out there. Let's see here. Oh, she's going under Clover Tack. Okay, but she will be obviously doing content for Gun Gals. Yeah, so real quick before we get going, we've got Stealth Hunter has jumped in. What's up, Stealth? How you doing, bro?
Hey, appreciate the invite.
Yeah, bro. Now, Mike, you had mentioned earlier, and we're gonna talk about going to the range and all that, and we're gonna talk about going to the range, what to take to the range, what are some good drills for different stuff, and including competition. And I know that you had a competition that maybe didn't last quite as long as you wanted it to this past Saturday. Why don't you talk a little bit about the competition you were at?
All right, so it was a USPSA match, and we did the safety brief. It was the first stage. I was the last shooter out of 8 shooters. Got a DQ.
I was saying what now?
Yeah, I said I was the last shooter out of 8 shooters in my squad, and I got a DQ. All right, so I was disqualified. The reason I got disqualified, it was stated that I broke the 180. But I didn't have any video footage to prove anything. So, you know, once again, it's their word against theirs unless somebody who was on the squad witnessed it, and then they can actually say, no, it wasn't. But, you know, everybody does side chatter when other people are shooting and not so much paying attention to what's going on. So as I was talking with you earlier and explaining, I don't have my firearm on me right now, but let's just say right now my chest facing the screen is downrange, right? So I shot the targets, and when I went to go do my reload, what I normally do and what I teach ever since I was in the Army was I take my elbow and I kind of put it on the side of my rib cage and like press it in, right? So let's say my L right here is my gun. Right? So the gun is pointed up. The gun is right here in my face, right? I done hit the magazine release. The magazine slides out. When as the magazine was sliding out, I was grabbing for the extra magazine on my hip. I barely turned to the left and started my movement to the next position. And by the time I put the magazine in, right, the scoreboard person that was holding a little pad that keeps track of the score, stopped everything. And then she stated that I broke the 180. So I'm sitting there like, the firearm is up right here and I turned, you know? So basically what you're telling me is what I did with the firearm up as such was take my hand and go like this. You know what I'm saying? I said, that doesn't make any sense, and I don't know anybody who trains like that, because I know for a fact I don't train like that.
I'm going to go ahead, and I've already cleared this just so people don't freak out.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, when I do the same thing, and this is something that I've always tried to do, but when I am reloading, I bring it right here in front of my face.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that muzzle's pointed up, and yes, you can turn this way, but that muzzle's still pointing up. Like you said, the only way to do that is to go here and to turn. And I don't know, I mean, I guess there are people that possibly do that, but if you get into a good habit, like you said, of getting that elbow right on the rib cage, and it's right here in front of your face. Now, especially for competition shooting, and here's why I do this, is you're able, especially if you're behind cover or something that you're still acquiring a target down range, and you bring it right here, you should be proficient enough to change your magazine while still keeping my eye on that target the whole time. And so from that point on, you're here, you reload, and then you're right back in to a quick acquisition of target. So like you said, the only way that possibly is if you move that muzzle, and it's not like you're a newbie. It's not like anything that, you know, I don't know. That's just stupid. That's just stupid.
Yeah, it was. But at the same time, I don't stoop down and call it, you know, like don't reach like that. But the only thing I can actually say in my personal thoughts is everybody on my squad who was shooting in the limited division was Bravo shooters, B class shooters. And because I haven't shot a competition in like a year and a half, 2 years,
yeah,
I'm still rated as a Charlie shooter, C class.
Probably rolling them.
Yeah, and then when the score person, you know, when she actually saw me shooting, because my rhythm was really fast, because you actually shoot, you know, I can engage the targets pretty fast.
Yeah,
and that's the only thing I can effectively come up with as far as getting a DQ was that was my first time shooting at this range. And by me shooting at that range for the first time, it came down to the fact of you can't shoot better than the regulars that come here all the time. That's the only thing I can reasonably come up with.
Now, Jen Davis out there, Mike, has a question. What was her line of sight? Was she directly behind you? Was she off to the side? I mean, could her vision have been impaired to where she guessed that you broke the 180? Or, I mean, where was she standing?
Only thing I can honestly say is she was standing behind me. So if she was standing to my left, to my right, or directly behind me, effectively, I don't know, because I'm focusing on what's in front of me as far as targets and the firearm.
And most of the time in competition, at least I can't speak for USPSA, but in IDPA, they're behind you when they start, and then they kind of move off to one of your sides because they're kind of trying to look and all that. But I guess if you are behind someone and you see from behind the gun like this, unless you can see that muzzle pointing up, I mean, I'm not trying to give her an excuse. I'm not trying to say that she was right. I'm just saying that maybe she's an inexperienced safety officer or match director or whatever. Maybe, you know, try to give her the benefit of the doubt, but it sounds pretty damn fishy to me, just saying.
Yeah. So like I said, even this is how far I ran it down to come to a conclusion. I didn't have on a black shirt. The firearm was black, so there was no misunderstanding because I had on a blue shirt, like a light blue shirt, but I had on black sleeves on my arm, right? But even if the gun is right here, there's still that color differentiation between the shirt and the gun, so there was no mix up in color, you know. So like I said, I try to break it down as far as I can, but like I said, in the end, when you turn around and you look at it, I respected the official's call, but next time I come out, I'm coming out with a fury.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm trying to send Mohawk Boy another link. Said the first one didn't work, so I sent you another one. Let's see. Oh, he's in. Never mind. Disregard. What's that?
How many links does he need?
Well, he said the first one didn't work. You know, sometimes links don't work at the Waffle House, so you know how it is. Let's welcome in from Pennsylvania, the Mohawk Boy, the tactical chef himself. What's up, Midnight Range TM?
Sorry, I must have spilled syrup on the first one or something.
It is what it is. Maybe some sprinkles or something.
Yeah.
Are you off tonight, or are you just able to talk, or what's going on?
I am off. Yeah, I am off. Yeah, we had a little family day and got back in time. Little dude's in bed, so we're gonna jump on. Oh, he's pretty good. He's good. He's getting over everything. Yep.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna holy cow, we've got the Patriot in the Dark has joined us. What's up?
Oh, sorry. I thought this was Tactical Tuesday.
Oh yeah, no, this is your world, man. We just live in it. Just saying.
Thanks for the invite. I do appreciate it.
No problem. All right, guys, we're going to jump into the topic tonight, and it's basically range. Whether it's for competition, whether it's to go and practice or train or whatever, there are a lot of people that are maybe getting into guns and they're going to the range. And they don't want to look like a newbie, even though they are. And it's okay to be a newbie. But there's also a lot of people that have been around guns forever that just are starting to go to the range. And I get asked quite a bit, but what all should we take? Is there overkill? What we shouldn't take when we go to a competition? And then also, what kind of drills do you like to do for specific things, whether concealed carry or home defense or just, precision and zeroing in or whatever. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And let's kind of go through the room real quick. And let's start with stealth. So stealth, when you go to the range to practice, what are some of the items that, obviously outside of the gun and ammo and all that, but what are some of the items that you take to the range that most people might not think of?
Hearing protection, backup hearing protection, eye protection, backup eye protection. I watched a guy had electronic hearing protection. It died, and for whatever reason, he took off the earmuffs to look at him, and there was a guy one stall over, fired off a shotgun, and well, you can imagine what the look on his face was. So
yeah,
that wasn't very good. What I take with me is, again, hearing protection, eye protection, my weapon, ammunition. One thing people don't think about is sometimes you may have a issue of some sort. I bring a multi-tool.
Yep.
I also
TDR just mentioned a gloves and multi-tool. That's a great thing. I always have a multi-tool, little Gerber thing. It's always in my bag and in my car. I've got several of them, but that's a great point.
Well, I don't use gloves because I don't wear gloves. Like if I'm concealed carrying or home defense or something.
I don't wear gloves either.
If you wake up in the middle of the night, are you gonna put on your Call of Duty kit? Gloves and all?
I hope not.
No.
Well, there probably some ones out there that would do that.
Well, for us average little creatures, we get up, it's like, oh my goodness, and we grab whatever we use for home defense, and we are hard bottom sock, underwear, weapon, going to see what's going on, like us little creatures do. Concealed carry, I know it's wintertime. Some people, because of the time of year, do wear gloves.
Right.
If you are someone who wears gloves because of cold climate, I would recommend train with the gloves that you wear. Don't wear some sort of, thinner glove if you're wearing a heavier glove, because now everything's going to be different. How you're holding it, your dexterity, how you feel the trigger. Keep it consistent. I just stick my hands in my pocket, keep my hands warm. If something happens, then again, I'm barehanded. That's just how I roll. But you do need to have some consistency in everything that you're doing. I've seen people go to the range and they bring a duty belt and outside the waistband, Safariland style tactical holster, and they're using a gun that they don't even carry or use for home defense. They're just training with that setup.
Yeah.
You need to
real quick. Real quick, Matt out there has a question for AR-15s. We'll go ahead and dive into this one real quick. He had mentioned. Let me go back up here. He said, "Y'all have any suggestions for an AR-15 trigger? It's no price point." I'm a big fan of Geisley. CMC's got some good ones. There's a bunch of them out there. Timney's got some decent ones that are maybe under $100 or something like that, but typically Geisley's my kind of go-to. I'll run through and we don't have to just wait for you guys. Just throw it out there. If you guys have any suggestions on some AR triggers.
Yeah, in the chat, I was just talking with Matt Sexy, and I suggested that he go to check out the lineup with Geisley as well.
Yeah,
good two-stage trigger, but the Geisley that I have, clean break, it's very functional, low travel, and the reset, audible click, very loud. So, like I say, everything you're looking for, but it also depends on what your purpose of the use for that trigger as well. So, just don't get it off of people's recommendation, because if you're running SBR or like AR-10, you gotta figure out the difference of what you're really looking for, the means of what's going to happen with it.
Andrew says that the LaRue MTB is 87 through Christmas. That's pretty good. Saving some money on that one. Anybody else out there have any suggestions for maybe some drop-in triggers or anything for an AR build?
And when I bought a full upper and a full lower when I got my AR from PSA, and I did upgrade the trigger, and I got their polished trigger, their nickel plated polished trigger.
Nickel one, yep, sure.
And it's really nice.
From PSA, right?
I've never shot like a Geisley or something really high end like that, but compared to everything else I've ever shot, this one's really nice. So if you're not looking to spend a whole bunch, I mean, I'd recommend it. It's got a really, really quick, a really short reset, and it's got a really, like Mike said, a really loud reset, and it's super smooth. I mean, maybe I was lucky, but I really like it.
That's actually can be very beneficial if especially under certain situations. A loud reset is going to help out a little bit. Tack Daddy out there says that ALG is a sister company to Geisley, to check them out. I haven't actually checked them out, so I'll have to go check that out as well. But ALG is a sister company to Geisley, so go check that out as well. And Lance, a buddy of mine from hometown, Off the X out there, he's built several recently, and he's got the CMC 3.5 pound single stage. And I've actually handled that a little bit, and it's nice. So that CMC is really, really good. Like I said, the two that I would go with are the CMC or the Geisley. But triggers are so, I mean, it's hard to say which is the best one, because everyone has different criteria of what they think is good or what they're looking for out of a trigger. So, I would say get as much as you can from people, but eventually it's going to come down to you're just going to have to kind of test some out. Hopefully you have buddies out there, Matt, that have different ARs with different trigger sets in there that you can fire and feel and see what you like. But, there are some companies out there that are just kind of tried and true, and, are always going to get good reports from people because they're just good. Anybody else have anything before we move on?
Good gun drop. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just going to say, just go out there and hit up a forum, or just do your research, look at the different companies, and do a technical data comparison, and make an informed decision. Well,
especially if one of your little gun shops or ranges has rentals, they might have some ARs there to rent. Maybe, hopefully, he's in California. So, well, maybe there is in California. There still should maybe be a range or a gun shop that might have some rentals that might have different triggers in there. So, that's kind of, hey, Snobs Wife, how you doing? What were we going to say, G? Sorry.
I've been to multiple shops in California. I don't know, but there's definitely AR-centric shops. But you go to some shops, they'll have, what the trigger setups are, where they have a grip on them and the little trigger rig. And then you can pull the trigger all you want, and it doesn't hurt anything. But you can actually pull the trigger. Yep. So triggers are your point of interface, right? So everybody's finger's different, everybody's preference is different, and applications are different. I personally wouldn't want anything that's not rugged, period. But if somebody has a match trigger in mind, that's going to be a different criteria. So I would say go to a place where you've got ideally all those trigger sets that you can just, I've seen tables where you just walk around the table. There might be 24 trigger sets there at a big AR shop, and you can literally check them all. if you let interact with the customer service people there, the employees, they're going to know, these are the match trigger, these are the game triggers, these are the hunting triggers, whatever, and they're going to be able to give you some ideas of what you figure out what you like, what the differences are between those. And if you're not in a hurry, then once you've actually experienced triggers, go to the internet with specific questions, but asking what trigger is good is like saying what hot dog is good or what pizza is good. You're just going to get everybody's opinion, and everybody's opinion is based on their preference. So I would say go find some that you can actually ask. Should I get this one or this one? And like I was just saying, you're not going to find so many rental places probably that have a lot of ARs, but you might have a wall of ARs that you can ask them if you can try pulling triggers or something. If they got like a bunch of them for sale, and they might have different triggers in them, or consignments or whatever might have some kind of fancy trigger.
I just got a text that this is a phone number that I don't have my address book attached to it, so I'm getting a text on this. And if you're going to send me a text, I love them, but at the end, put who it is, because I don't know who this is, but it just said, "My doctor told me no more candy. Does this mean he can't have another Slim Jim?" I'll let you take that one there, Mohawk Boy. What do you say?
Yes, you definitely have to stay away from the Slim Jims. I'm no doctor, but yeah, I'm
But you did sleep at Holiday Express, huh?
But I played one on TV, right?
That's right. That's right. All right, let's get back to the discussion. Since we're here with Midnight, when you're going to the range, what are some of the things that you think about? And, besides the Hearing Pro and all that Stealth was talking about, is there anything that you do prior to going to the range to prepare for that or anything?
Well, yeah, I mean, you said a multi-tool, or somebody said a multi-tool. That's my number one, because you never know. You need to tighten up a red dot or something like that, or even, clean out something from inside the chamber, so it's always nice to have like a knife or a pair of pliers or something. I don't take like a stapler or anything like that. I actually use thumbtacks, because staplers are big and bulky and they're a pain in the butt. A lot of people take staplers.
Big old roll of tape,
Yeah, I always keep a little roll of duct tape with me, and nothing really out of the ordinary. I don't take necessarily a cleaning kit with me. I clean before, after when I get home. And if I would have something that like a squib, which I have, I'm not really going to bang it out with a cleaning rod anyway. I did that once and destroyed a cleaning rod, so that wasn't a great idea.
Yeah. Now, Kingpin out there.
Yeah, I'm pretty simple, man.
Yeah, Kingpin brings up a good point out there and says, if you live in Maryland, you better have your license with you. And see, I guess that's something that I don't really think about, because we don't have to do all that stuff. But for sure, yeah, I mean, if you're in a state that requires you to have a license, then yeah, take that with you as well. Gunsnum out there says trauma kit. That's a good one as well. Now, Mad Sexy sends me a text over there, and thoughts on first aid kit and what I would put in it. I always carry a first aid kit in my truck, so my truck's always right there at the range. In most of the videos, you can probably see my little toy truck. It's an old Durango that it's kind of like my toy truck that I just drive around to the range. It keeps, all my stuff for the range is always in there. And I've always got a trauma kit with me, a first aid kit. But for first aid kit, I mean, if you're talking, are you talking trauma kit? Or are you talking first aid kit? Because in my opinion, two separate things. First aid kit, you're going to have Band-Aids, gauze, tape, this, that, and the other. A trauma kit's going to be a whole separate issue. But I would suggest you take a first aid and a trauma kit. Go ahead.
He said trauma kit. On the YouTube side.
All right, on the YouTube side it says trauma kit. I mean, obviously tourniquet. I've got. I want to see if I can find the one that I got online not too long ago, off of Amazon, and I'll tell you what's in it. I got it because it was a really, really good. I would say it's. Let me find it right here. I think this is it right here. The action is what I think it's called. I think I'm pulling it up here. The direct action trauma kit, and it's real small, but it's kind of got pretty much everything you need in it. And I'll just kind of read off what came in it because, you know, for $25 or so, I thought it was wonderful. I think it was called Dark Angel Medical. That's what they're saying on Amazon, but it's the, you can go down here and it's got, all right, 1 pair of gloves, 1 pair of Halo seals, a nasal airway, 1 4-inch Israeli bandage, a quick clot combat gauze, or a Cheeto gauze, whatever, a compressed gauze, a Mylar blanket, a polycarbonate ice shield. Civilian levels will be the basic civilian, but you've also got the mil-spec side of it, but it also comes with the tourniquet and all that stuff. So you're talking about just for $25, you're going to get stuff that isn't considered your normal everyday first aid kit. Do you guys carry trauma kits? And if so, what kind of do you carry in trauma? And what kind of you, if you remember what it is?
Yeah, I carry multiple first aid gear when I go to the range. So of course, you know, I got my IFLAC on my battle belt, but I also have one in my go bag also. And then I also have another medical bag that has, you know, more in-depth stuff to, you know, render assistance.
Anybody else have a good trauma kit or want to talk about what they have in their first aid kit?
Sure. I'm going to say if you're buying a kit, you're doing it wrong. So it should be something that you know what each piece does. So don't worry about money. This is something that you're going to have to spend money on anyway. So you're talking about a difference of 20 or $30 between piecing it out and buying a kit, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. Most of the kits are sacrificing something in order to, you know, get a price point that competes with other quote unquote kits out there. And since they don't know who they're selling it to, they're competing with first aid kits and things. So I'm going to suggest getting a decent piece of nylon that can be opened quickly and look at U.S. manufacturers, not foreign-made garbage ripoff like copies, but look at the U.S. stuff for multiple reasons. Not only is it made with U.S. materials, so you're keeping all your money here, but those U.S. manufacturers are typically working with teams and first responders who actually use the equipment. So it's got more innovation than any of the rip-off copies that you're going to find, you know, on the big warehouse websites. So once you find a good piece of nylon, you know, just go source the items that you need for it. And those are a tourniquet and Israeli bandage and gauze. I guess gloves if you're worried about it, but those are the main items. And then that's what you have on you. And then I duplicate that on my range bag, and then first aid kits are a whole nother thing. Like they're more like boo-boo kits. At a range, remember burn stuff. Nobody said anything about burns yet, but that happens.
And I know Tack's been doing a bunch of stuff on Aware and Prepared on his show about a lot of different stuff, and I know that he works closely with mobilized rescue systems, and I've never tried them out. I can't personally vouch for them, but I know Tack's been using them and all that. He vouches for them. So go check out Mobilize Rescue Systems for sure. Yeah, a big one is. And let me ask you this. I want to ask this through Patriot. Anybody else? So just kind of jump in there. Your tourniquet, okay? If you have a tourniquet on you, on your person, is that for you or is that for somebody else? Because I know what I use it for, but it's interesting to get other people's opinions. If you carry a tourniquet on your person, is that supposed to be meant for you or who?
Since I'm a civilian now, it's for whoever needs it. I mean, if it's a family member or somebody else at a range where it was an accident or something, mm-hmm. I mean, it's obviously different than if it's, you know, some crazy person or something, or, you know, a car accident. But yeah, I would use it on somebody. Yeah, I'm not going to just save it in case, you know, something falls on me. Well, I'm waiting for somebody to help somebody else. I use that SWAT key, that the rubber band style one. That's just what I got now.
Yeah. Typically, I've always kind of used or never used it. Luckily, I've never had to use it, but I've always in my mind basically said that the tourniquet that I carry is for me. And I know that sounds selfish, and I apologize for that. But I think that over time you kind of transition to where obviously if you're in a situation and the only tourniquet around is the one that is meant for you, then obviously we're going to use it for whoever needs it. But like G was saying, if you've got a tourniquet on your person, then another one in your range bag, or a double up on your range bag, I've always kind of said to me that the one that's on my person was meant to be for me. But obviously, if it's the only one around, then sure, you can let whoever use it. But Mike, I know that you used to. Do you still carry a tourniquet with you?
Yes, every day. Every day.
Meant for you or for somebody else, ideally?
Ideally, I carry it for me, but I'm the same, thought process of, in the event something happens, if I have it on me and then I see somebody needs it, I'll just pull it out and hit them off with it, because I carry one on me, then I keep one in my vehicle as well.
Yeah. I've got kind of an old. It sounds crazy, but I've got an old tackle box. I'm not to say old. It's just a tackle box I got for like $5 or $6 at Walmart. And that's my travel kind of first aid kit. I've got all sorts of different ibuprofen, Tylenol, gauze, tape, little scissors and gloves and all that stuff. And inside of it, I've got a little tourniquet inside that as well. So I've got one on me. I've got one in my range bag, and I'll have one in that big first aid kit in my truck everywhere I go to the range. Now, if I'm in a competition, obviously I'm not going to beat them on my truck because I might be parked a mile away from the range where the competition is. I usually carry one of those little pull carts with me that has my bag, and I'll have my camera and I'll have my guns and my ammo, and I'll bring that in that little pull little trolley thing, whatever you want to call it, wagon with me. So I'll always have that. So I'll always have at least 1 or 2 trauma kits and tourniquets with me as well. Stealth, Midnight, G, anything else about medical kits or trauma kits?
What I would add is your mentality isn't wrong, and I wouldn't apologize for that. If you have it for you, it's for you. Now, someone in the side chat on YouTube asked, I thought the question was, I thought it was for yourself, and it is, but depending on the situation, if someone else is in more need and you're right there, you help them. It's very simple. That's as far as I would take it. Yeah. Ideally, it's for you. It's not for everybody else and their uncle. You know what I mean? But if you're right there, and G brought up a good point on the YouTube side as well. If you have the training, you're right there. Help somebody.
That's right.
It's simple.
That's right. No, you're right. And that's the whole point. Is it's a life-saving device. It's a limb-saving device that obviously. What's up, Warsaw? Obviously, if you want to save somebody, then sometimes you got to bite the bullet and say, well, here's my tourniquet. I don't think most people, I would guess that most people wouldn't second guess that. They would just do it. Obviously, we have things we prepare for, but obviously we're going to be, if we're the first responders on a scene of an accident and we know we could save someone by using our own tourniquet, then hell yeah, we're going to use our tourniquet. That being said, okay, now let's kind of transition a little bit into practicing for drills and stuff like that, bringing targets.
You're gonna gizzard us?
Your own targets, or do your ranges provide targets for you? What were you going to say? Who's that?
I said, so you're gonna gizzard us?
Oh, well, I said anybody else have anything? You didn't say anything, so.
Well, yeah, about the kits, yeah. But
okay,
range,
we'll go
I
for
do
it.
bring gloves, not because I shoot with gloves, but if I'm shooting a lot and something happens, since my eyes are actually my hands, I use gloves because obviously I don't want to get burned. And she had mentioned the burn cream or whatever, but I do bring gloves and the lead wipes or whatever, lead-free wipes, whatever you call those things.
Wet wipes.
Yeah, but the ones that remove lead, not
right.
just regular wet wipes, because that just smears it around, I think. But whatever, I could buy into that advertising, but and also a lot of batteries. I bring a lot of batteries because I use a lot of audio stuff. So, and a bunch of extra receivers that I might accidentally shoot. So
yeah. Now I do love what JJ's out there, and JJ says going to the range, take an open mind and a desire to learn. And I would say this: I love that statement because there are a lot of people that I come across just in natural everyday life that go to the range, and some of them will walk up and you can tell that they don't want us to talk to them, even though we could see something that's very wrong. They don't want any help. They don't need any help, quote unquote. They're just going to do what it is. That being said, have an open mind, a desire to learn. Is no matter how long you've been shooting and what your proficiency level is, you can always learn something. I'm by no means a phenomenal shooter. I think I'm an above average shooter, but I'm always watching other people trying to pick up movements. I'm going to go train with Jaeger in a couple of weeks. And as much as historically I don't really get along, or I shouldn't say get along, I don't necessarily like some of the stuff he said or done. When it comes down to training, I'll go train with anybody. And I'm going to hold my judgment until I go train with the man before I say if I like the guy or not, because I'm always looking to improve my skill, improve my knowledge, and improve technique. And why wouldn't I go train? But if you can go train with someone, you know, even if it's at your range, if someone out there looks like they've been shooting for a while, you're going to be able to learn something. So I love that, JJ. Yes, most definitely. Go with an open mind and desire to learn. Now, targets and all that, do you guys bring your own targets, or do your range supply your targets? And this is kind of go ahead and start free for all, you know, as far as you don't have to wait for me to call and you just whoever's out there targets.
I prefer like orange targets. I don't know why. I've just always liked orange. So yeah, I bring my own.
Don't get Doc out there going.
Yeah, I know. But then in my range box, I always carry some cheap like 6-inch paper plates. Because you know, if you have somebody there, if you're shooting with friends, or if somebody doesn't have a target at the range, I've done this. People have asked me, they're like, "Oh shoot, I forgot my targets. Do you have anything?" You know, if I only have 1 or 2 of my own with me, I'll throw them 6 or 7 of those. I'm like, here you go, and you know, you take a little Sharpie, you put a little bullseye on it, and you put it out on the range, and you got a target. So that's kind of a goofy little thing to have with you, maybe.
Well, and that's, you know, a lot of people like targets that are reactive. You can kind of see where the bullets go through and all that, you know, all that. It's great. Some people, I'd tell you, a lot of times, I know when I go train and with the local sheriff department, they'll go train, I'll train them every now and then. It's literally a small paper plate, like the smallest, kind of like a dessert size paper plate. You go put that at 21 feet or, you know, 10 yards or something like that, and you're working trying to hit that. Paper plates are cheap. You can go get a stack of them for $1, less than $1. And those are some great targets as well. The bigger player, you know, it's all good. You don't have to go and get the big fancy B-27 targets to go practice with. Anything that's going to maybe, and I suggest the smaller you get, the better it is, because if you learn to aim small, then you'll learn to miss small. And unless you're doing precision shooting, and I had this discussion with a buddy of mine off the X out there, Lance. We were talking about this last weekend. We were training a little bit. Unless you are worried about your precision shooting and you're a precision competitive shooter, you're talking concealed carry, home defense, self-defense shooting. If you aim at center mass of that chest and you're missing the body from 21 feet, you've got issues. But you don't have to, you know, keyhole every single shot in center mass. If you're missing a couple inches here and a couple inches there, as long as your groupings are relatively tight, I'm not the kind of guy that's going to sit there and say, no, you're terrible because you're missing center mass. No. If your groupings are tight and you're consistently in the same spot, either it's low left or high right or whatever, but you're aiming center mass and you're missing 2 inches, that person's still going down. You're still breaking ribs. You're still doing an incredibly amount of internal damage. You know, whether they kill them or not, you're getting the threat on the ground and out of the way. So don't be necessarily, for me, don't be necessarily too hung up on trying to keyhole everything and making just perfect shots every time, because in a concealed carry with adrenaline rushing, increased heart rate, increased breathing rate, chances are you're not going to be very precise.
What I would add to that,
there's another point of view on that.
Okay. Let me come back to you, G. Stealth, what were you going to say?
what I was going to say is, you know, if you want to go to the range and stuff, and a lot of people teach us, I got taught it, okay, just open your hand up in front of you and put it on the target. If your hand's covering the group, you're good. If you want to get tighter groups, make a fist and put your fist over your grouping. If it's your fist is covering that grouping, that's still good. Number one. Number two, when I go to the range, I use the small human silhouette targets.
Yep.
Okay. And I jack them out to 15 yards. And that's what I shoot. I don't bother with the big targets. I don't bother with the super tiny targets.
Right.
I practice on that. And I practice both center of mass and headshots. The head portion of that target is about as small as a small paper plate, which if you're taking paper plates, like Midnight said, right, you can take your medical shears and your med kit, fold the plate in half, and just cut around the circle and the dead center. You have a small target now that you can tape up or pin up, staple up, whatever. And you can use that also. Because when I went, for those who don't know, I'm an armed guard right now. And when I did my weapons qualification, we had to shoot 7, 15, and 25 yards here in Pennsylvania. And practicing on the smaller self-defense targets allowed me to be able to shoot at different distances and still keep all my rounds on the target. Like Ghost said, aim small, shoot small. If you aim small, you're going to miss small too.
Yep.
You're still going to get center of mass in a self-defense situation with a concealed carry or home defense. You will get rounds where they need to go.
Yep. No, 100% agree with you. G, what were you going to say?
Well, there's an alternative side to that, or a different perspective on it, and that is I'm going to use the analogy of like sports or music. So let's say that you practice a lot of sports and then you go play your sports in front of a bunch of people, you know, for playoffs or whatever, with the stress and the having to actually react to the actual other team, the opponent, or if you're playing in a concert and you've got the audience, and then just, you know, the having to deal with the real life going live in front of people with all your equipment and stuff. Do you tend to rise to the level of your best practice, or do you perform at the level of your, you know, your worst practice? Most people, I would suggest, under stress or on the spot, when they are, you know, when it matters right now, you end up concentrating on so many things that you rely on your practice to give. You're going to end up with your least level of practice. If people went to their highest level of practice, everyone would be winning everything all the time, right?
Sure.
Right. So if that's the case with firearms, if it applies to firearms, then why would you want to be comfortable with sloppy shooting when you're standing at a range, a square range with almost no stress and almost perfect circumstances? Why would you want to allow yourself to be sloppy then? I would expect nothing more than stacking one ragged hole, because then under stress, then under movement, then under all kinds of the you know, different situations that you're going to get, all the different you know, things that are going to happen in real life. Now you're going to have that ability to shoot well, and that's not a factor. So I think that people fool themselves by saying, "Oh, I'm comfortable with this, and I don't have to push myself, and I'm done." But it's handicapping yourself potentially.
Well, and I understand exactly what you're saying, and I do not disagree with you. But what my whole point was is, if you are doing practice, and like I said, unless you're just standing there static and you're shooting precision, I like to do a lot of practice where I'm moving. I'll shoot do a lot of drills shooting on the move from behind cover. And in those situations, if I'm not keyholing everything, but I'm still hitting inside the target, I know that person's going down. Now, like I said, if you're working on precision and you're trying to get that, then sure, we want to push ourselves. But in a training situation, or if you're practicing, but you're practicing kind of real world scenarios and you're not keyholing everything, don't get so down. As long as you're hitting inside the target, hopefully that threat is going to be eliminated. But I do agree with what you're saying. If you're just kind of standing there and you're working on precision, then yes, you want to push yourself and you want to try to get as precise as you can.
Well, I'm not understanding what I'm saying, but that's fine. And I'm going to address the using.
Okay, well then explain to me what you're saying, because I thought I'm pretty proficient in language, but maybe I missed something.
Okay, so you said when you apply it to walking around, you're also satisfied that you're hitting center of mass.
Absolutely, I am.
Yeah, well, I'm going to suggest in training, only be satisfied with ragged holes. So go slower until you can get ragged holes. You can always, anyway, that's just a difference in philosophy. As far as the targets, if you always shoot at dots, then you're not giving yourself the stimulus of having to shoot at a human being. So until you take a force-on-force class, you see what it's like to actually draw and shoot at somebody, then you maybe won't understand the significance of it. But the reason they make targets that look so anatomically correct or photographically correct is because you need to be able to differentiate that. You need to be able to get past that induced phobia that we all have that's been ingrained in us since forever. We don't point a gun at anything we don't intend to destroy. And we don't intend to destroy people. We don't wake up and put on a gun because we intend to destroy. We put up a gun because we have to, the same as we don't have a fire extinguisher because we plan on arson, right? We have it in spite of. So you need to be able to understand what it's like to shoot at something that, anyway,
looks
so
like a person.
Targets are there.
Yeah, and like you said, our natural thing is you see a person, our natural instinct, even the ones that have been carrying for a long time, like us and all of that, our first instinct is not to shoot that person. So I agree that you're saying of that. If you get accustomed to shooting at something that looks like a body's outline, yeah, exactly. You're training your eye to kind of maybe get over that, I don't say fear, but whatever you want to call it. Tack's joining us from Florida. What's up, Tack?
Hey, what's up? Happy Tuesday. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man. How you been doing? You got anything to add on this subject real quick as far as aiming and focusing on what you're practicing on and range drills and all that?
The only question I had was just out of curiosity is how many people are, and I think there's probably a lot of bullshit to the answers for most, and not this panel, but for most, when you ask them, how much dry fire are you doing at the range before you start using real ammo? Or during that session, do you stop halfway and do some things, or do you just shoot lead when you're at a range?
Honestly, I'll give you my honest opinion. When I'm at the range, I'm typically shooting lead because I will dry fire for at least, and it may not be all in one sitting, but at least 10 to 15 minutes, literally every single day. Literally every day. I dry fire. I love to dry fire. So I'm dry firing constantly every day. So when I go to the range, I'm there for another reason. What were you saying?
That's why when you make videos, you shoot guns and you shoot holes that look good. And I think there's a huge correlation between practicing free throws and making free throws in a game, as G was talking about games earlier. There's just no way that you watch these kids that go out and all of a sudden there's a college kid and he's in the Final Four and they're like, yeah, he's made 99% of his free throws.
He's made 1,000 of them in practice.
It's like, you know how many times he shot free throws until his mom was yelling at him at night for his life? I mean, like literally, that's how that's produced. That's it. Yep. And Shaq's mom.
Yeah. Shaq's mom might have done that. She should have done a little bit more. Maybe she should have cracked the whip. Glock don't lock. What up, yo? I like that question though, Kev. Let's run through the room and we'll start with Midnight. Dry firing at home, at the range, or both?
I don't. Not really at the range. Not really at the range. At home, I do. Yeah, I've got snap caps for everything I own. all the way up to 12 gauge and stuff like that. So yeah, I play around at home, but not a whole lot at the range.
Okay, Stealth, what about you? Dry fire at home, at the range, both, or none?
I'll turn on like a cartoon, like Family Guy or something, and I'll aim at the TV and dry fire practice for like 30 minutes. It's a good time reference. Commercials are a break. Then when it comes back on, I go back to dry fire.
And you're also talking about a cartoon that's moving, so you're working on dry firing with moving targets, obviously.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I aim at Stewie's big head. I'm just saying. It's easy because like he moves around a lot, or some other cartoon. I'm just using Family Guy as a reference.
Yeah,
that's what I do. And again, you're right. It's moving. Something else I've done, and I came up with the idea. I'll use a piece of plastic wrap too, and like put it on the TV, so I have like colors and stuff, and draw shapes and numbers. And when I see a color and a number, like my brother helped me, he calls out a shape and a number and a color. When I see that color come up, dry fire. At the range though, I don't dry fire. When I go to the range, I'm there to do live fire practice. That's just what I do.
Patriot, what about you? Dry firing, home, range, both, or nothing?
I dry fire like crazy at home. I think that's all I do at home is dry fire. But I use, like, if you're familiar, I use the audio sounds, the key fobs, and I'll have them placed all over the place, and that's how I dry fire at home. So I have random, different directions, and it's at all different angles, whatever. Once I get to the range, though, it's not so much because I'm focused on the sound and that. It's not like I'm aiming at a static target or whatever, because I can use multiples, but I do a lot at home. I mean, that's like 90% of what I do at home. I don't live fire at home, of course, but
I hope not.
I guess that would be bad.
Mike, what about you? I know you dry fire probably as much or more than I do.
Man, so I dry fire a couple times during the day, but the longest I do it at night is about 30 minutes, especially before competition. So Sunday's another competition, so I ramp it up more. And one thing I do like to do when it comes to dry firing is take an empty casing and balance it on my front sight post.
It's a great one. Great one.
Just like Tac Daddy said, when I go to the range, I don't so much like I do dry firing at the range, but it's more along just that first pull. And then I just keep doing that just so I can get my sight picture, sight alignment on point. But yeah, I'm a firm believer in dry fire because I honestly believe you can do dry firing every day for 3 months and don't shoot a gun within those 3 months. And then when you do go to the range on that 4th month, that one day, you're still hanging or shooting better than a lot of people who go shoot regularly.
I'm going to agree with you on that. When I did qualification to be an armed guard, I hadn't touched a gun in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But I did dry fire practice.
There you go.
Now I will admit, I did drop one round at 25 yards. Other than that, I got like a 98, 99. So dry fire practice is a good thing.
Dry fire is huge. Yeah, it's huge.
Even when I was a drill sergeant, that was one of the things I used to always focus on, which was somebody in the chat said Dom washer drills, but it's also reinforces the whole dry firing concept.
Yeah, exactly. Before we move on, we had someone, I don't know if he was trying to spam or he's actually legit, but I've never seen him. Michael Purcell's out there. Welcome to the chat. He said off top, he's got a ton of Ring of Fire guns and knew if you could collect them. I'm not a big Ring of Fire gun guy. I would rather have something that's actually working. But if you guys out there, either in the chat or on the panel, if you're interested in some of these guns, get a hold of Michael Purcell. Like I said, I'm not big into it. That's something that's actually working, but that's just me.
Can I do one more thing on dry fire?
Yeah, I was actually coming to you. What do you do? I mean, you asked a question, but do you do both or what?
You're looking at it. This thing has changed my world. The SIRT pistol. It's heavy like a Glock. It feels like a Glock. The magazine is weighted. I got a couple extra magazines upstairs, so you can do mag changes. There is no action on it. But what's interesting is I remembered there's a switch on the top. And what's great, I don't know if you can see this or not. Can you see the red dot show up? Hold on, I'll do it there. So basically, there's a trigger reset laser. So the green laser is my shot. And so actually the red one, let me turn the light off.
Okay.
What the red one's doing is basically, as I let go and reset, it's not letting me go too far back. It's just getting me to reset. If I go completely off, it goes off. So it's an interesting tool on that thing, but more importantly, the gun itself, the trigger feels real. Like I said, the weight of it really feels real. So I do a lot of draw stuff with this, and I do a lot of dry fire with this. The other thing that's great about it, again, you can do anything. You can get anywhere that you want to shoot, and you don't have to worry about like snap caps and popping rounds out and all that kind of shit. It's just very simple.
Do you remember where you got that at?
This is the SIRT pistol. It's from a company called SIRT. The other thing is, if you look over there, I got my my Israeli terrorists is over there, and then that whiteboard there, that's a El Presidente across the top and a silhouette. And then in the far back corner, way back there, there's a bad guy too. So basically, I can go from this guy all the way to the back corner and then over to here and do all kinds of, mag changes and that kind of stuff, move.
So you basically have a home defense drill set up in your garage.
In essence. And again, it's because when it comes down to it, I was thinking about it and I was like, quite honestly, when you're doing dry fire, you're pretending. So I want my pretending to be as real as possible. There's doors, there's things I can do and that kind of thing. So yeah, But for the most part, what it really does is, again, it really improves your point and shoot.
Well, I'm just going to throw it out there. I mean, you have multiple assailants inside your garage, and they've still been there for a long time. So I'm going to say maybe your aim isn't as good, or they're getting to the point where the lasers aren't bothering them. So
the laser doesn't bother them.
No, man. Okay. Honestly, it's just Groundhog's Day. It just keeps.
It just starts over every day. Okay, I got
every day I come back and they're still there. That's correct.
Yeah, I actually. One of the guys at the range, I don't know if it's a family member or what, but someone that he knows is involved with a company called Targetize, and he had him send me one, and it's something that literally it attaches to the Picatinny rail underneath your handgun, and it's a laser, and you have an app. And I did a review on it a couple weeks ago. It's out there if you want to watch it. It's a really cool dry fire. You can do it live fire also, but for dry fire, it's a really, really cool little attachment that it, just like I said, it just attaches to your rail, and it has different drills. You can do all that, but it's really, really cool to work on, and actually kind of give you, hey, it says you're shooting low left. Well, maybe if you do this or work on this, or here's a drill. So there's all sorts of things like Tax got, like I've got. There's all sorts of
stuff out there, no doubt.
Yeah, there's great stuff, and I tell you, we're talking low tech redneck. Put a pencil, a long #2 pencil, sharpen it up. Put it inside your barrel if you want to. You can stand like an inch or so away from the wall, pull that trigger and you're dry firing, and you'll kind of see where that pencil marks the wall. And if you have an aim point, you'll kind of see where that pencil's going. You'll know if you're jerking or if you're anticipating or whatever. So there's all sorts of stuff you can do. G, what about dry firing for you? What say you?
Oh, I don't really dry fire.
Okay. All right.
Liar.
I have a question.
I think he does, but it's okay.
I got a question for you, Kevin. Do you use a Glock for concealed carry, or are you just using that Glock SIRT gun to practice your hand placement, sight alignment, and trigger press?
He's a G19 guy.
Yeah, I carry 19 most of the time. I also carry I carry shield sometimes, but for the most part, it's a 19. Yeah. And you can get this in different models.
And it's CERT, guys. For in case you're wondering, CERT, SIRT. You can go ahead and Google search that.
Next level training. It's NLT CERT. NLT CERT. Next level training. Yeah. Great guys too. The guys that did it. The one of the guys that started. If you go check out some of their videos on YouTube, you'll see Mike Hughes and a couple of the other guys that started this company. Right. Cool dudes, good guys, and Mike was a competitive shooter, pretty significant. He's pretty badass.
Yeah, I just put it in the YouTube sidebar.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There you go.
Tell them Tack sent you.
There you go. All right, guys.
They'll buy me a drink at SHOT Show if you tell them Tack sent me.
Right. Let's kind of run through the room and kind of get last minute thoughts on anything we haven't covered for kind of people that are going to the range, what to do, what to practice, any good drills that you would send through. Midnight, any good drills or anything that we haven't covered that you think needs to be mentioned to people before they go to the range?
For me, it's I don't get out a whole lot. So for me, it's fundamentals pretty much. My major issues are trigger finger placement on the trigger. Squeezing the trigger, not pulling the trigger. And so I'm pretty much a fundamentals guy. I'm a decent shot. I mean, I'm not garbage, but my issue tends to be that I just don't get out enough, and I don't get enough real world sort of feedback. You can dry fire all you want, but for me, I don't have a system like that, or what's called the Mantis. I don't have anything like that to tell me if I'm doing something wrong. So once I get out, my first couple of rounds are usually a little awkward till I get back into the swing of it. But for me, it's fundamentals.
Answering right now. Dr. Recoil out there says that dry fire doesn't simulate recoil. How much it really does a great deal amount. We're not talking recoil necessarily, okay? Obviously, you're not going to start anticipating recoil while you're dry firing because your mind's smart enough to realize there's not going to be any recoil. But when you're dry firing, you're working on basic fundamentals, basic mechanics, your grip, your grip placement, your grip pressure. What a lot of people don't realize is some of your shots could be off just simply because the grip pressure that you're using isn't proper. You're maybe too much with the right, maybe not enough with the right, palm, but maybe too much with the right fingers, or too much left fingers, or too much left palm. Any and all of those grip pressure points are going to move that muzzle. So you're really working on basic fundamental mechanics. The biggest thing I can tell you is when you're dry firing, okay, you're trying to hold it and really focus on that front side as much as you can, to where when you pull that trigger, that muzzle does not move. If it's not moving, that's a good thing. If it's moving, you've got a fundamental mechanical issue with your grip. And that is the biggest thing that I can tell you for dry firing, is working on the mechanics of your grip. Anybody else have anything to add on that real quick?
I think you covered everything on it, so I would just say just do it more. And then the more you do it, you will see that your shot will improve a lot.
So
go ahead, Chief. Sorry.
People call it dry fire. Some people call it dry practice. Dry meaning the gun is empty, but you're using your gun, right? You're using your gun as opposed to something else, so that you can use your holster and everything else. Now, I personally don't shoot at a television. If you're going to dry practice, then you're going to want to practice and not ingrain bad habits into yourself. So I don't want to get into stuff, theory at the last 5 minutes of the show, but it's called practice because you're practicing fundamentals that you learned someplace else. You're not just doing it to do it, because then you could be ingraining bad habits. So the like Ghost is saying, the initial grab of your gun, the approach to your gun, if it's concealed, you're practicing moving your garments out of the way. So potentially dry fire with every new coat you buy, every new shirt that hangs in a different way, every holster shirt that buttons in a different way, is going to be a different draw. So you're practicing the removal of your cover garment. You're practicing your interception, your grip, your interface with your gun. Like Ghost said, your grip, your consistent grip is what gives you consistent accuracy. So you can practice that ultimately more than you could ever practice at the range. And some people can't practice drawing at the range. So besides drawing, there's presentation. I was just watching a video about a guy who shot his hand off, a cop who shot his hand off because he, pulled his gun out and wasn't doing it normal, and he didn't have his two hands together and shot his other finger off. So, you can practice your presentation, you can practice your approach and your, bringing a gun up to eye level. You can do that in austere positions and environments and stuff. So dry practice is ultimately useful for everything you can't do at the range, and to ingrain proper muscle memory, practice good habits.
Yeah. Dry firing, especially if you're carrying every day, is crucial. And it's like you said, it's not just firing the gun. It is changing of temperatures between summer and fall and winter. You might wear a t-shirt during the summer. You might wear a fleece during the fall, and you might wear a heavy jacket in the wintertime. If you're not proficient with the draw, with every single one of your holsters for every single one of the guns that might be in that rotation, with every type of garment, like G was saying, then you're putting yourself behind the 8-ball. Now, 7 Wonders out there asked a question. This is a good question. We'll run through real quick. Do you guys use dummy rounds when you're dry firing? I don't. I don't use dummy rounds, snap caps. I pull the trigger, rack it, pull it again. There's a lot of people that say that that's bad for the gun. I've actually had manufacturers tell me it doesn't matter. Just do it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can. If you want to use dummy rounds or snap caps, you can. But let's run through the room. What do you guys? I know that.
Think about how silly that is. Think about how silly that is. Your gun can handle an explosion, but it can't handle.
But it can't handle nothing.
Firing
right.
a pin hitting a piece of metal. Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, there are people out there that swear that they can do damage. I know that Midnight says he uses snap caps. Anybody else use snap caps or dummies or anything?
I don't use any of that stuff. Go ahead.
I have the snap caps, but I'll do the rotations at the range where I put them in with regular ones, just so it.
Now that's for a whole different issue. That's for working on malfunctions and all that, correct?
But I don't use any while I'm dry firing.
Yeah. Now I'll use empty casings. I'll use dummy rounds, whatever, and I'll throw them inside my magazine, or I have someone load a magazine and just throw just a piece of brass, empty brass, or whatever. And all that is doing is simulating a malfunction, or it's simulating something's wrong with the gun, which is a great thing to practice. Also, if you're not proficient in clearing a malfunction, then you need to be. You better be able to clear a basic malfunction of a gun.
And that's hard to
practice as well.
And that's hard to do when you're dry firing. At the range, that's where you got to practice that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah. We're not talking malfunctions in dry firing. We're talking with live rounds. But
dry practice, you can definitely incur or set up a malfunction and then deal with it. I disagree.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could simulate it. 7 Wonders said, do spent rounds work? Yes, I'm talking about. I have spent brass that I'll throw that or a dummy round inside my magazine, and that'll simulate something happening with the gun. When you pull that trigger, nothing goes bang, so something's wrong, So,
for live fire, if you're going to load the rounds, I would tell you to use the dummy rounds. Yep. The spent shell casings, you could dislodge the primer, and it could fall down in and cause you a problem depending on the weapon.
There you go. Dummy rounds.
That's my thinking. That's where I would use dummy rounds if I was going to simulate a malfunction while live firing.
They don't always feed either. So, I mean, that could be a different kind of malfunction that you induce.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Anybody else? Let's go to the stealth real quick. Is there anything that you want to add that we haven't covered for people going to the range that we haven't talked about?
If at the very least, if you have not a lot of ammunition, you're doing limited rounds training, go back to basics. Practice your hand placement, your sight alignment, and your trigger press. When you have a lot of rounds, you can practice a lot of other different techniques. But if you have limited rounds, I mean, when I go to the range, if I don't have a couple 100 rounds, I have a box of 50. I practice my basic fundamentals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to have 500 rounds in your can to go practice. You could have one magazine. If you've got all you've got is one magazine full, then do it properly, and you can get a lot out of 15 rounds or 10 rounds or whatever. You don't have to go and spend the whole day at the range. Anything is better than nothing. I promise you. Anything is better than nothing. Patriot, anything you want to add from your point of view when you go to the range, and there might be other visually impaired people out there? What are some of the things that you take to the range or you do to prepare going to the range?
I mean, I've mentioned that before about using the key finder, the fobs. You can buy a bunch of them. They come in like 4 or 5 packs, on Amazon or whatever, under $20. You buy a bunch of those. Make sure you get batteries because once you shoot them, they don't work. And then obviously on how to hook them, because a lot of them only come with like little key rings, and that doesn't really help you there. So packs or strings or whatever. The other thing is after you leave or just before you leave, make sure you wash your hands. So that's
yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, you forget about it, and those guys that bring snacks, whatever. I guess I would.
Yeah, that residue, you might not be able to see it, but it's there. I promise you.
Yeah. I mean, even a Slim Jim, if it's wrapped, maybe. But
there you go.
I thought the residue goes into you and makes you like Wolverine with adamantium.
Well, not all residue. Some residue does. Depends on what caliber you use. If you use 40, it's detrimental to your health.
Oh, darn.
I'm just joshing. TAC, going to the range, going to training. What are some of the things that, you got here kind of late, but what are some of the key points that you want to give to someone, especially if they may be newer to firearms, they're going out to the range? What are expectations? What are something you would suggest to them for them to do?
I got one thing that hasn't been mentioned that is one of those things that's like life insurance later in life. You get it or you don't, and you roll the dice or you don't, and that kind of thing. The reality of the fact is there's 2 things that happen at ranges consistently.
Okay, what's that?
Suicides is one thing. Sadly, people go to ranges, rent a gun, and kill themselves all the time. We've reported on it a bunch of times. We know about this. The other one is you see ADs at the ranges. There's been a lot of videos out lately about that. So my point is, if you're going to go to the range on a consistent basis, it would behoove you to have some sort of body armor protection for yourself. That might sound silly, but there's lightweight stuff. I'm looking at one I used to use. One I used to use is a lightweight one from Bullet Safe. I use even a lighter weight one now from Citizen Armor, but you can wear plates, you can do whatever, but you're rolling the dice when you go to the range. Shit happens at those ranges. People are shooting guns. And so to not say protect yourself is kind of crazy. So protect yourself. That's my opinion. That's
a great point. But I'm going to sit there and say I'm a little pissed off at you, dude.
How many people say I don't go to ranges? They're crazy. I don't even go there.
No, I'm more pissed off because I don't see my damn patch on your patch board. What the hell, dude?
This is a patch board that I'm giving away somehow, some way. The other thing is to one of your patrons, one of your people, I'm giving this away tonight. You just tell me where to send it. It's a Mission First Tactical muzzle device, 3-prong flash hider for your 5.56 223 rifle, brand new in the package. Never been opened.
I tell you what, let's do a quick giveaway then. We're doing a live giveaway. I tell you what, Kev, since it's yours, why don't you come up with a question? If you want to put it off in the side chat, the answer or whatever. What's a question? A little quick question that the winner gets this for.
Oh man.
Can the panel participate?
Yeah.
Excellent.
You put me on the spot for the question. Let's see. How about shit? I don't even have anything, to be honest.
All right.
Okay, how about this?
Oh, all right, go ahead.
First person that can tell me what state Mission First Tactical makes these American-made products.
Are you watching the chat? Because I don't know the answer to that.
I'm not either, but someone I'm sure will come up with it and be definitive about it because everybody uses Google. The other thing is I just found a piece of paper. I showed it earlier. They have a brand new product coming out on the 19th. This is unrelated to that. This is just in another box of shit that I have. They have another product that I have in my hand right here that I'm telling you is a true it's got to be a game changer. I got to run it through the motions. But I'm telling you, based on a product that they had that had some shortcomings that they decided to improve and put a good price on. There's something coming in the November 19th. You'll see it all over the place, I'm sure.
Okay.
You got any guesses yet?
Well, I'm trying to find the answer first, and then I can go scroll up and see.
Side chat for you.
Oh, you got it in the side chat? You're the man.
I'm sure G knows. It's a nice one.
Okay. So I got the answer. Let's nothing yet. Nothing yet. Do not have. There you go. Stealth. Stealth. You can't do it, dude. You're in the panel.
You just said I could.
No, I didn't, because you get the side chat. The answer's in the side chat, bro.
Yeah,
You can't do that if you're in the panel.
Hold up. I'm on my cell phone. I can't look at the side chat.
So when he said can we guess in the panel, the answer was no. I win.
Yeah. All right. All right. So you did not see the side chat then. If you're on your phone, then I can guarantee that you can't see the side chat. So we'll go ahead and give it to Stealth. Stealth Hunter. Before we get off tonight, go ahead and give Kevin your address, and he'll get that sent out to you. That's awesome, bro. Appreciate you very much.
They're out of Pennsylvania, by the way. Great American-made company. Good stuff.
Yeah. Mike, you have anything? No, we're not talking closing remarks yet, but do you have anything about the training you're practicing that you want to get out before we start closing the doors?
As far as training or practicing, just understand what you need to work on, whether it's sight picture, sight alignment, trigger pull, or body position, breathing. There's a lot of different drills you can do. One thing I like to do when I'm at the range is slow fire, but I try to keyhole my shots, which is nothing more than a sight picture, sight alignment drill. And then after that, then of course, I just run through the gambit. But it also, you have to be honest with yourself when you're doing any type of practice. Whereas, like I said, if I'm aiming at something and if I'm truly jerking the trigger, I have to be honest with myself and say, okay, I'm jerking the trigger. How can I slow down to not jerk the trigger? So it's one of those, you have to be your toughest critic when you're actually practicing to actually get better.
Good point. Good point. G, what about you? Anything else as far as training or practicing that hasn't been mentioned that you want to bring up?
Yeah, this is a good topic. We could probably talk about it multiple times. Obviously, different facets to it. You started out with people that are new to it and range bags. So I was going to throw out that you've got an opportunity now with different various social media platforms and a big audience of people are interested in experiencing what other people are doing. So consider dumping out your range bag each time you go to the range, and either do a video taking it apart after the range and do sort of after action. I use this, I didn't use this, I used this, I didn't use this. If you do that a few times, instead of just taking your whole range bag and throwing it in the closet or whatever, and then just kind of dealing with it, in other words, loading it each time with intent from an empty bag, you're going to see which stuff you end up using and which stuff you don't. And that's the best experience, because everybody who's talking on the panel, everybody who's offered suggestions from the text chat, we're all coming at it from different angles and doing different things at the range. And some people, you're right down the street from the range. Some people, if you forget something, it's like, oh, no problem, I can borrow it from somebody. I've been shooting where it's 2 hours out into the desert and you're there by yourself. So if you forget something, you don't want to forget something. So everybody's experiences are different. So let your experiences dictate what you're going to carry. And then
I always have my range bag with me. Here's mine. I kind of keep with me most of the time because I'm always kind of piddling with different guns. I carry about 4 or 5 different guns in that bag. So
let me throw out there though to finish up. So out of your bag and do a video of it, or take a picture. If you're not into videos, just take everything out of your bag, put it on the bed or on your floor or something, and take a picture. And then each time you go shooting it, you load the bag up and do that, taking it apart each time. You'll see it develop over time. You'll see the stuff that you're bringing for no reason, and that gives you something to chat about in these chats and the live conversations and whatnot. Okay, go ahead.
That's a great point. No, all I was saying is I always carry my range bag with me, either in my truck or with me kind of close, because I'm always when I dry fire, I don't just dry fire the one gun. I try to dry fire all different guns because you're proficient with all of them. Obviously, I always carry about 4 or 5 guns in my range bag that are kind of my go-to ones that I always take to the range. Different calibers, different sizes. Because when I go to the range, there's someone might be new there. They've got some just gun that's just not made for them. Someone sold them on a gun they should have sold them on, given them a gun they should have given them, or whatever. I always try to keep different guns with 380s, and different calibers, different sizes, to where someone's out there, they'll always be able to have maybe be able to test different size handguns. So if you've got multiple guns and you go to the range, maybe take a few with you. And it's not just for you to shoot, obviously, it's for other people to shoot and other people to hold. And they might be open their eyes to something that's out there. And there's a lot of people say Glock. Oh, man, I hear everybody say that Glocks are terrible and all that. Oh, have you ever shot one? Well, no. Oh, here's mine. Go ahead and shoot it. Oh, man, why is everybody, you can change people's minds by, a 380. It's all 380s or nothing. Really, a 380 is going to get the job done. Here's my 380 bodyguard. Why don't you shoot it a couple times, see what you think? Oh, this is perfect for my hand or whatever. So always be prepared to take multiple firearms. Let's kind of run it through the room real quick and talk about upcoming projects or anything like that. Stealth, we'll start with you. You got anything coming up on your channel at all?
Not recently, no. What I will say, just in case anybody wants to question, right? Just to show y'all see me?
Yep.
I am on my cell phone. I haven't left any time. Just in case.
I'm just giving you shit, bro. I'm just giving you shit. It's all good.
Well, so we know it's all legit. I'm on my phone.
I mean, it's not all legit, but I mean, you're on your cell phone. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. So, but I wanted to appreciate you let me come on and stuff.
Anytime, my man. Anytime.
I'll see if I can get something up. I'm still doing college. I got one class left.
Good for you, bro.
Possibly December, January, I might have some videos up. I'm not going to swear to it, but I'm trying.
That's always
School's been eating me up and whatnot. I got to hop on the computer and get some assignments done anyway when I get off of here. So
before you jump out, make sure you get tack your address and all that. But all fair. Yeah. Patriot, thanks for coming on, my man. What you got coming on? How's the blind challenge going? And how many videos are out there right now?
Well, thank you for having me. And since everybody was talking about range bags, for any unlucky sap out there that doesn't have one, if you do a video for the hashtag blind challenge, you could possibly win one of the ones I posted. I have the LAPG Basic Plus. I think Basic Plus. So,
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, just do that. I'm at 40. I miscounted.
40, so you got 10 more to go. Man, you got 40 videos out there. That's awesome, man. That's really good.
I had it marked as 43, but there was 3 of my videos in there. So
that still counts as part of the playlist. So that's good.
It's part of the playlist. I won't win though. I guarantee everyone I will not win. But yeah,
we'll see.
Just come over to the channel and check it out. If you're too big for the little guys, I mean, I'm sure Tack could figure it out too. So that was a challenge. So
yeah, I don't know if Tack hasn't been around for a while. We're doing a blind challenge, and honestly, I don't know if you know what Patriot in the Dark is blind. And he did it a few months ago, a blind challenge where he's asking people to go on camera blindfolded and field strip different kind of guns. And what you're doing is it's making you not take things for granted, to where you have to verbally explain how to field strip or take down a gun that without using your eyes. But what it's also doing is creating a catalog for a lot of visually impaired shooters out there that may be looking to get into guns but wouldn't know how to take it apart. These are going to be videos that they can listen to the audio and listen to how to field strip a gun. So it's a great thing. It's actually the hashtag blind challenge.
Yeah, and
I've been tracking it. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it's teaching the sighted guys on how to describe things, because
it's really helped me out tremendously.
There's a lot of videos that probably are visually pretty and stuff, but they're kind of hard to follow if description wise. But yes, come do it. It'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. And the giveaway is going to be on Rick's Life as I See It. Whatever one.
On the Sunday or Wednesday show? Or the Saturday or Wednesday?
It depends on when the last one comes in.
Okay.
I'm excited to get this stuff out of my house. So.
I hear you.
Otherwise, I'm going to use it because I'm going to the range in the morning.
Well, thanks
Do
for
it.
coming on, and I love what you're doing. I'm so glad that there's been 40 videos already. That's an awesome, awesome thing. Need 10 more videos, guys, to get to 50. That's his goal. Now, we could use 150, but we need 10 more to reach his goal of 50 for the giveaway. So get out there and do that. Mohawk Boy, what you got coming on? You going to the show Sunday night?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do a show this past Sunday. Had some family stuff come up that ran late. But yeah, I'll be on Sunday night, 10:30 Eastern, the closer, GunChannels, and I am on Instagram. I will say too, one of the things I wanted to bring up, I talked about as far as ranges. One of the things that I take with me that I kind of forgot that I talked about on my show one time, and not a whole lot of people ever saw one, is a broken shell extractor. I take one, especially if you shoot a lot of steel case, like with AKs,
right,
or something like that. If you ever have a shell that, when it extracts, breaks in half or tears in half, these are a little gadget that you can use to take them out. They're really kind of cool. They're cheap. You can buy them at gun shows or on Amazon or whatever. I have one for my AK. I have one for my AR.
How do you use that?
It's what it does is it's sort of it splits in the middle. It's hard to describe. It splits in the middle, and it's got a little screw on. I don't have. I'd have to grab it. It's actually in the pistol grip of my AK in the safe.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
But
you just take that thing out of your pistol grip and pull the broken shell out?
Well, what you do is you put it in, okay, and it almost has like a hook on each side. And let me turn my camera on so I can describe it. My internet sucks, so I had my, okay. All right.
Holy God, you just broke the mirror.
I know. What mirror? That's the internet's that I broke.
Oh,
all right.
You broke my mirror. That's what you broke. Why?
7 years bad luck. Okay, so basically what happens is it's shaped kind of, it's long, and what it does is when you screw, you put it in, and it goes, the tip of it goes past where the shell is broken off. So it goes where the neck is. It goes all the way through the neck, and you screw a little screw on the back, and it puts these like it spreads open.
What do you mean you screw on the back?
You guys want me to go get it? If you want to wait, I'll go get it.
What do you screw it onto?
The casing?
Yeah, it goes inside the broken casing, and when you screw the back of it, the front of it opens up, and it'll actually grab a hold of the casing, and then you close the bolt on it, and the extractor will extract it. It's got the back end like a bolt, like a case. Here, hold on. You guys talk. I'll go grab it.
The same hell are you talking about? All right.
I'll show you. Hold on.
All right. Tech, I know you got your show coming up Thursday night. What else you got going on?
Actually, I'm traveling, and so we're going to do tomorrow night, and it's Mike Sodini, probably Rob Pincus in the panel talking mental health.
Huh?
Say again?
Talk a little WTTA, I guess.
Yeah, a little WTTA. Again, a lot of that going on, and more details on the guy that the Marine that again basically snapped. Yeah. There's some more details on what happened there, and just again discussions to be had. Interesting ones to be honest with you. So that'll be tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Unfortunately, I hope I'm not stepping on anyone's toes here personally, but that was the only time we could really get it done. So special edition, Aware and Prepared tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Kevin the Tech Daddy channel. Thanks.
Yeah, if you guys want to, before you go watch that, if you want to get a spbackground of what WTTA is and Mike is, go check out the Armed Citizen, our podcast, our actual audio podcast. I spent about 2 hours with Mike, but about an hour of it actually got on air. And I might have to do a second podcast because it was some great information. But for guys, Mike is he's the president of Eagle Imports, and you guys know Bursa and all that stuff. And back in June, he decided to start WTTAs, Walk the Talk America, and it's there to bring up mental health awareness. Obviously, Rob Pincus has jumped in on board. Coleon Noir's jumped on board. But go check out Walk the Talk America. They're on all over the social medias, on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. But it's gun guys trying to understand that there are conversations that need to be had. And there are conversations that a lot of gun people don't want to have, but mental health is something that's out there. And we even go into talk about red flag laws and our stances on red flag laws, and it might surprise you. Might get a little criticism, but it might surprise you. But go check out the podcast. It's called the Armed Citizen Podcast. You can find it, the audio on YouTube and GunStreamer, but it's under Ghost Tactical Podcast. It's called the Armed Citizen, and it's on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, PodBean, all that. But then go tomorrow night and watch Kevin, because he's going to have Rob and Mike on there, which will be great. And they are going to be at SHOT Show. They got a booth at SHOT Show, so I'm really looking forward to it. Mike and I are going to do some stuff before SHOT Show and kind of leading up to some stuff. It'll be really, really cool as well. But yeah, go check that out for sure.
Thanks, man. And again, I'll co-sign. I actually have Mike's been everywhere for the past month, and I've got a half
he's been all
podcasts
over, dude.
that I've gotten about 20 minutes into most of them, and yours was the one I listened to the longest, and I have about 20 minutes left on that, and that's my tomorrow morning AM listening for the show to get prepped. So thanks, man. It was a good. What you did so far with him that I heard in the first half hour, 40 minutes was great.
No, I appreciate it. The cool thing about Mike is Mike, but the cool thing is we were just bullshit. We were just talking for 2 hours, and so I had 2 hours of just us talking to go back and kind of splice into a show, which was great. He's great to talk to. He's gonna be straight up front with you. He's gonna say some stuff you may not like, but he's going to say some stuff that you need to hear as well. So go check that out. Definitely go watch A Word to Prepare tomorrow night with Mike and Rob. Great guys, giants in the industries, and they're trying to do something a little bit different that most gun people may not have heard of yet. So that's great. All right, Mohawk boy. Now, what the hell are you talking about here? I'm going to lock this screen on you. Here we go. You're muted. I'll unmute you. I can't unmute. You got to unmute yourself.
There you go. I'm muted.
There you go.
Okay, so it's tapered on this end, right? As you screw it in, this has a little lip here, and it will actually expand, and you can grab the neck of the round with it. And then your extractor will grab a hold of the back here, and you can pull it out. I've never had to use one, but I've seen people use them. I've looked them up. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've never seen one before. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, pick them up again. You can buy
for different calibers.
Yeah, they're caliber specific. This one's 7.62 by 39. Then I have one for 223. I've seen them for 8mm Mauser. I've seen them for 30-06 at gun shows and stuff like that. So,
do you know where to get them?
I bought them at gun shows, but I think I bought that original one on Amazon. I don't know if they're still on Amazon or not.
Yeah,
but it's kind of a neat little thing, man. Especially. I mean, how the hell are you going to get a broken shell out without taking it to a gunsmith? So it's worth a shot for like $8. It's worth a shot rather than paying a gunsmith,
No, I hear you. That's, like I said, I've never seen one before, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
And they're neat.
Yeah. G, what you got going on? I know you got, like you said, in 2 days is the 5th anniversary of GunChannels. That's awesome. Congratulations on that. But what else you have going on in projects wise?
Not too much. Just a bunch of the same things I'm normally doing. So thanks for the invite.
Hey, no problem. No problem. Guys, like I said, in 2 days is the 5th anniversary of GunChannels. If you're not on GunChannels, go check it out. It's a great place. You find some like-minded people over there. It's kind of like home. So go check out GunChannels, and you'll start seeing some 5th year anniversary stuff pop up, I'm sure, here in the next day or so, because 5 years is nothing to laugh at. That's awesome. And thanks for all that you're doing, G. Mike, what about you? I know you got some stuff coming on and going on. What's the latest project and what you working on?
Right now, I'm just trying to raise about $3,000 more.
That's it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so right now, I'm trying to raise about $3,000 more to get the other 2 sheriffs into jiu-jitsu training for a year. We're still doing our product reviews that we release every Tuesday. So if you haven't done so, check out I'm going to put it in the chat. But check out the video that we did today, whereas the videos is linked between Ghost Tactical and MW Tactical. But just head on over to M-W Tactical, and if you click on media links, it'll give you access to everything that we're a part of, as far as podcasts, product reviews, and then the different work between Ghost Tactical and Clover Tech that I'm a part of.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Yeah, we did. We simultaneously released videos this morning. I did a quick review, a 5-minute detailed kind of a spec review on the Walther. Bring it out right here. The Walther PPQ Subcompact. This is my new carry. Amazing gun. Did a little review on that. And at the same time, Mike did a review for the Walther Q5 match, which is he used in his competition. And so we linked, you know, it's my first collaboration, but we linked to each other's video. So if you're looking for a carry gun, or if you're looking for a competitive gun or a full-size 9mm or whatever, you'll be able to watch both of those videos through each other's links and all that. So go check those out. Go check out the Walthers. Thank you to Walther. Awesome people. As a matter of fact, this Friday, I'm going to be at the Walther factory, and I'm going to meet with Cody and the Walther guys. I'm going to spend all day at Walther with them, going through their factory, and I'm going to try to video as much as I can. Obviously, there'll be some proprietary stuff that they might not allow me to video, but I'll probably try to go live at least once or twice while there and video as much as I can. So thanks again to Walther. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you so much. And other than that, guys, check out the Armed Citizen podcast with Mike Sedini. Check out all of them. I've had Patriot in the Dark, G-Webs. I've had Julie Golub. I've had Mike's on there, and now Mike Sedini. And I'm going to have some really, really cool people I've already got lined up upcoming. Tim with Military Arms. I've got Tonto Peranto is going to be coming on. I've got Jarhead 6 will be coming on. Probably get Tack if he wants to. I don't know if he wants to slow with us or not, but talk about some stuff that he with the book and all that. I'd love to get you on the podcast as well. But there's also a lot of people that be coming up in over the holidays. Sometimes the podcasting, I never thought I'd get into it, but over the last couple of months, it's kind of blown up, and I never thought it would. And it's really, really fun and gratifying. So thank you to everyone that's out there watching this stuff, watching the reviews, but also listening to the Armed Citizen podcast. It's been a great joy. Remember, guys, we have the drill of the month. It will end end of this month. Right now, we've got over 250 views on it, but I've only had one person send in their video response. This month, it's called the John Wick drill. It's easy, guys. It's really quick. It's 6 rounds. You're going to take 2 to the body, 1 to the head, quick reload, 2 to the body, 1 to the head. It's not difficult. It takes no time. Get out to the range. Next time you go to the range, go do the John Wick drill, video it on your cell phone, upload it to YouTube, and send me the link, and you never know. And you're done. That's it. It's all it is.
It's only 6 rounds, but you got to go.
6 rounds.
Got to take and rip up your concrete floor of your basement to get the guns.
Exactly. It's going to take you longer to explain to Jimmy, the cop that comes to the front door, that you're working again, than it is going to take those 6 shots. If you haven't seen John Wick, then you don't know the reference. But like you said, taking a sledgehammer to your basement, it's going to take you longer than shooting the drill. So shoot the drill, get out there and practice, take someone with you, and video it. What were you going to say?
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, John. Working again, huh? I think I'll let you go. Yeah. Great movie. By the way, John Wick 3 comes out in May of 2019. If you guys are John Wick fans, which I am, number 3 is coming out there. The Mozambique drill. Yeah, Mozambique drill. Yeah, pretty much. But I just call it John Wick because it sounds a lot cooler than the Mozambique drill. But there's some staples out there. The Mozambique, El Presidente. You've got all sorts of stuff. If you are around Central Arkansas, I do want to announce that here at my home range, the Cleveland County Shooting Club, we are having another fun shoot this Sunday from 2 to 4. And it's open to the public. It's free. Come on out. We're going to have a different home in the self-defense scenario with some steel and some targets and some swinging targets and all sorts of stuff. And
hey, Ghost.
Yo.
Is that in beautiful Heber Springs, Arkansas?
It is in beautiful Heber Springs, Arkansas.
I thought it was.
It's cold as shit, Heber Springs, Arkansas right now, but it is beautiful. We're here in the mountains. It is really pretty. And if you're going to go, make sure you bring, for all you ladies out there, make sure you bring your dust cover, or a bib is basically what it is. Bring a bib in case there has been some talk out there about brass getting down your shirts and all that, and there's someone out there trying to sell a bib, calling it something else, but it's a bib. A bib. People are selling bibs. Anyways, don't want to get on that one. We'll get off that subject. But, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for always listening. Thank you for always supporting the channel. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. I love every single one of you guys. I just got some new gear in, setting up for SHOT Show. and I'll be doing a video on that. And that was helped tremendously by my Patreon supporters. If you guys are looking for some cool stuff, go to the website, www.ghosttacticalproductions.com. And up top, you'll see Ghost approved gear. You've got some stuff from Sportsman Guide, Crossbreed holsters, We the People holsters, all sorts of cool stuff over there. That's, excuse me, you're going to get some really cool deals on. And if you use the links on the website and you go buy those things, it does help support the channel as well. So we get a little bit back, but every little bit helps. But go support these companies that are supporting us. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you, as always, for watching. Thank you for listening and replay. We love you very much, and we'll see you next week. Semper Fi.